Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Championship Predictions for the final time this season. It is week 46, Sophie.
Yeah, it's been a rollercoaster this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a real shame it's actually coming to an end, guys. I just want to start off by saying a massive thank you for your support. You guys have absolutely made it, and we wouldn't do these videos if we didn't have the great support that you guys give us. So whether your team's had a good season or a bad season, I just want to say a massive thank you to you. And if you want to say a massive thank you to us, make sure to hit the like button because we're going for the biggest ever this season, 2,500 on this one. I'm setting it high because it's a big one.
Yeah.
Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe once again if you haven't already. Just because the season's coming to an end doesn't mean that the content is coming to an end. We've got the playoffs, we've got the Euros, we've got transfers, and then we've got the start of next season coming around before you all know it. Like and subscribe. And the scores from last time, Sophie, you did actually beat me quite convincingly. You're still going to need a massive swing on the final day to beat me, but it's not impossible.
No, I've clawed it back a little bit, so it's not quite as embarrassing now. I'm still quite far behind.
To have any chance of winning, you're probably going to have to go for the opposite of a lot of the results I'm going to go for. Anyway, let's get into the predictions, guys, and I'm going to shuffle the pack here. Instead of going through it alphabetically, normally, as we do, let's talk about the games that don't have anything riding on them first, so you guys are going to have to sit and wait for the big games at the end. So let's start with the dead rubbers, Sophie, and let's start with the game we are going to on Saturday. It's Coventry City versus Queen's Park Rangers. Now, it's two teams that will be facing off in the Championship again next season, but there was a time where it looked like Coventry could be getting promoted, QPR could be getting relegated. I've got to be honest, Sophie, there's certainly been some good things to take from this season for Coventry, but it's ending on a real bad note now.
Yeah, we're in really poor form. Like, if we'd had this form throughout the season, it's relegation form.
It is.
It doesn't matter now. But yeah, we're coming up against a team that are in good form, very good form.
Yep, if you just looked at the table, it would be very misleading. The form table is the one you need to look at coming into this because QPR are in great form. And a massive well done to them. That 4-0 win against Leeds, it's really messed Leeds United season up, but it has saved QPR. They come to Coventry not really needing anything, but I do think they might actually get something because Cifuentes has got this team playing some good football.
Yep.
But with it being the final game of the season, I don't want to just keep backing Coventry to lose. So I'm going to end at the CBS with a Desmond 2-2.
Okay, well, you said I've got to go against some of your predictions if I'm going to pull it back, and I will be on this one, not purely because of that, just because the form at the moment. We're not in very good form. We're looking so poor at the back. We're just giving away really cheap goals. Yeah, I think we need a big summer transfer window, to be honest with you, but season's done, well, nearly done, and QPR are ending it on a really, really positive note, and I feel like they're going to end it on a win. So 2-1 to the R's.
Not another defeat for Coventry.
Sadly, I see it happening, yeah.
We could still finish around 11th or 12th at this rate. Oh dear. Okay, right, let's move on to the next one. We've got Middlesbrough versus Watford. Once again, it's two teams that will be facing off in the Championship next season. Middlesbrough, Sophie, they've ended the season fairly well, actually. They've overtaken Coventry. They're in the top 8. Maybe room to be optimistic about next season?
I think they'll have a really good season next season, actually. They end seasons very well. They did it last year, they've done it this year. It's just the start and around the middle part. So if they get off to a good start, then I could see them finishing in the top 6 next year.
And Watford, to be fair, they've been in decent form under Cleverley. Do you know what? I think this would be a good game. And because there's not a lot riding on these, I just hope teams go for it and play as exciting football as possible to treat the fans. Let's go for Middlesbrough 3, Watford 2.
Okay, you can see there being a few goals. I'm going to knock one off each team. I'm going to say 2-1 Middlesbrough, but I am going to back the home side to win that one.
Yeah.
Could see it being a draw as well, to be honest. Watford are pretty draw heavy, but...
They are, but they actually won last week, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, I did back them to win last week, but I can just see them losing this one.
Oh, there you go. On to the next one then, Sophie, and let's go to the New York Stadium. It's Rotherham United versus Cardiff City. Cardiff have been such a strange team this season.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I think you could say a pretty positive season.
Yeah, I mean, from where they started, they've dropped right off, and then you think, oh, okay, they're really dropping down. To finish mid-table, it's okay.
Yeah, I think before the season, if you'd have said mid-table, I'd have been a little bit surprised. I wasn't too optimistic about them, but they've done well. Baloo, remember there was a transfer embargo, so the players they brought in have made a difference, and fair play to them. Maybe they can have another decent effort next season. Rotherham United, of course, are going down. It's been a terrible season, actually.
Really poor.
But I do think with Steve Evans, they've got every chance of getting back up next year. On this occasion, I'm going to end with a Rotherham 1, Cardiff 2 prediction.
Okay, I'm just going to go Cardiff 1-0. I actually see this one being a bit low scoring. Again, there's nothing to play for here. Rotherham could well concede a few more. Their goal difference is just absolutely diabolical. But I don't think Cardiff are really going to go for it. As we said, nothing really to play for apart from ending the season on a high. And I feel like they will. They'll get the win, but I don't see there being loads of goals. So I'm just going to say 1-0.
I don't know, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? When your team's already been relegated going into this final day. I mean, the fans will, there'll still be plenty of fans there and try to enjoy the day. But I seriously think going into next season, Rotherham have a good chance of getting back up, is what I will say. On to the next one, Soph. Let's go to Stoke City versus Bristol City. Congratulations, Stoke. What a win against Southampton.
Yeah.
They've secured their championship status. Yet again, it's not a great season from Stoke.
No.
But they do enough to stay in the championship at least.
Yeah, I think beginning of the season we were like, they've had such a good summer transfer window, so I was expecting a lot from them. So overall, very disappointing.
Yeah, but the worst thing that could have happened would have been to go down to League One. At least they've avoided that. They take on Bristol City, Sophie, who are obviously a decent team and could still have a quite decent finish here if they can win on the final day. I'm tempted to go for Bristol City, but I'll go for a draw. I was pretty impressed by Stoke last week. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Yeah, I think we've said before that Bristol City play better against better opposition.
Yeah.
It sounds incredibly harsh on Stoke, but they've not been very good this season. And that's why I can actually see Stoke getting the winner here. So, Stoke 1-0.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, once again, it's two teams with nothing to play for.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Share your thoughts. Right, we've got one more dead rubber before we come on to loads of games with something to play for. Let's go to South Wales, Sophie, where it is Swansea City versus Millwall. Once again, maybe two teams that will be just looking forward to getting on with next season now. On the whole, not great seasons from both, but I think you can say they've both ended the season with some decent results, especially Millwall. You know, they were in danger. Swansea were in a bit of danger, but they were hovering above it. But Millwall were in the thick of it, and Neil Harris has done a good job. Yeah, it was another good win against Plymouth last week as well, and Millwall definitely didn't have as much to play for as Plymouth did, but there you go. As for Swansea, they went and got a 2-2 draw at Norwich, so fair play to them. I'm going to go for a draw here. 1-1.
Oh, I'm actually going to go for the same. I'm going to say 1-1. I think if Millwall were at home, I'd probably edge them slightly, but being away, I still think they'll get a draw. So, yeah, they end their season with a draw apiece. 1-1.
1-1. There you go, guys. Let's start getting into the games where there is a lot to play for. And we're going to start at the King Power, Sophie, where we've got Leicester City versus Blackburn. Now, for Leicester, there's nothing to play for, and we must say a massive congratulations on being promoted as champions as well. Obviously, if they can win this game, I believe they get to 100 points, which is just...
Yeah, that's why I think there is something to play for. Because surely you want that 100 points for pride.
Yeah, but there's no jeopardy on it. But as for Blackburn, they're not safe yet. And this is a difficult final game. The thing is, I think Blackburn are just going to have to hope that they've done enough already, because... I don't want to sound too mean, but I just can't see them getting anything here. I thought they played quite well against Coventry, but they just didn't take their chances. And against Leicester, I think you'd be made to pay. I'm going to go Leicester 2, Blackburn 0. But we'll see what my other predictions are in a minute, because I still think Blackburn might stay up anyway.
Okay, so I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester. All pressure is off Leicester now. They can play with fun. I don't think they're going to particularly rest players, despite they look like they're partying hard, to be fair. So that might have a slight impact, which Blackburn fans will be hoping for. But Leicester are looking back to their best, to be honest, which, yeah, Blackburn fans and the players won't be too happy about, because, yeah, it could be looking at other fixtures if they're the ones losing. And I do see that happening. So, yeah, I agree with you. 2-0 Leicester.
2-0 Leicester. Right, Blackburn fans, you're going to have to keep watching to see if this means you would be relegated with our predictions. Let's go to the Stadium of Light, Sophie, next, where it is Sunderland versus Sheffield Wednesday. Now, Sunderland, first of all, obviously nothing to play for. Their form is just not great. But Sheffield Wednesday, Sophie, they've still got something to play for, but the form is fantastic. Yeah. And they are in such a good position. I mean, if you'd have offered the Sheffield Wednesday fans this position back at Christmas, they'd have snapped your hand right off and chewed on it for the rest of the day, honestly. I mean, I think this is probably the greatest escape in Championship history. I mean, there has been a few good ones over the years, and maybe one or two are not coming to me right now, but they were dead and buried. And who was it, Sophie, that wasn't a Sheffield Wednesday fan that stuck by them all season and said they'd do it?
Yeah, I did, to be fair.
No, you didn't.
It was you. I did have them to go down beginning of the season, and then early on in the season, I was saying to you, look, Matt, they're going down. Like, they're not good enough. And then new manager in, different style of football, and they are playing very, very well now.
They are.
Yeah, fair play to them.
Honestly, Sheffield Wednesday, you have done me proud. You have probably been my best prediction this season. The fact that I've stuck by you and you've done incredible. But we must say they're still not mathematically safe yet, and there is a cruel irony that they could still get sucked down on the final day. I think that'd be unbelievably harsh on the Wednesday fans. They only need a draw, and away to Sunderland, who have not got anything to play for, I don't think they're going to get a draw. They're going to get a win. 2-1 Wednesday.
2-0 Wednesday. I don't see Sunderland scoring past them. They're not looking very good at the moment. And Sheffield Wednesday are looking very, very good. I don't think they're going down at all. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a great day for all the Wednesday fans because they're going to get the win. They're going to stay up. And wow, what a season that has been.
Honestly, massive club. Massive fan base, massive stadium, great history. I'm looking forward to going back to Hillsborough next season, Sophie. Great club. Danny roll, Danny roll. On to the next one then, Sophie, and we go to Home Park, where it is Plymouth Argyle versus Hull City. Oh God, this is massive. Both teams need to get something. Hull City need to win. They can still make the playoffs if they win this. We're going to come on to who they need to slip up in a minute, but if they win, they can get up to 73 points, and it might be enough to get them over the line. Plymouth Argyle, Sophie, they're in a precarious position, but it is in their hands. If they can go out and win this game, they don't need to check the other results. They will be safe. If they don't win this game, then they need Birmingham to not win against Norwich. How do you see this one?
Plymouth, I think, will be glad that this one's at home.
But Hull City are better away than they are at home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So Plymouth are obviously better at home. Hull are better away from home.
Yeah.
So it feels incredibly harsh, but I'm going to have to lean towards Hull.
Are you really?
Sadly, yes.
Oh, because I think I am as well.
Oh.
I think I am. I've written down here Plymouth 1, Hull City 2, and that one has hurt me to do because I really like Plymouth. I really want them to stay up. They've offered something different to the Championship, and their fans have been great this season. We've had lots of support from them on the channel, but there's just been this feeling that they've not been able to get away from trouble for the last few weeks. They got a couple of crucial wins, including that win against Leicester, but back-to-back away defeats, which has been their Achilles heel, has left it going to the final day. And with Hull City needing to win, I just think they might. Plymouth 1, Hull 2.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's going to be a few goals in this one, which I could see it going either way. It being a low-scoring one because both teams need a win, or there being a few goals because both teams are throwing everything at it. And I can see the latter happening, actually. I'm going to lean towards Hull and say a 3-2 defeat.
Oh.
And yeah, there's going to be absolutely heartbreak for Plymouth and their fans. But Hull, on their day, are a very, very good attacking team. Against Coventry, I don't think they look their best, but either way, a team that walks away with the 3 points, not at their best, is a sign of a good team.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to bring their A game against Plymouth here.
Hull City have really impressed me. Yeah.
As a whole, yeah.
To be fair, what's probably surprised us a little bit is how much they really went for it in the January transfer window. But they're ending the season really well, and it looks like they could maybe just miss out on the playoffs, but if they get in, that's incredible. So fair play to them. As for Plymouth, Sophie, if they do lose or draw, they're going to have to see what happens at St Andrews. And that's where we're going next, Sophie. It's Birmingham City versus Norwich City. Now, once again, it's two teams with something to play for. Norwich just need to make sure they don't get smashed, because unless there's a massive goal difference swing, they're going to stay in the top 6. As for Birmingham, Sophie, it's all to play for. They need to win. We've spoken about what the ramifications are, and if they draw, they'd need Plymouth to lose by 5. It's just not feasible, is it? They need to go for the win. And on paper, you make Norwich the better team. They are. Look at the table as well. But I just think in a one-off game at St Andrews, Sophie, as we saw when Birmingham took on Coventry, they can be up for it. And essentially, this is a cup final to them. If they don't put everything into this, then they've relegated this proud football club. And it actually makes me quite sad, because although there's Coventry fans that don't like Birmingham and there's some Birmingham fans that don't like Coventry, I actually really respect Blues. I like a lot of their fans. I still hold them in a high esteem and appreciate them for letting us have their stadium. And it's a derby. We want this. They're not a club that should be going down to League One, but they could be. And ultimately, who's to blame, Soph? Who got rid of John Eustace? It's the people at the top.
Exactly.
However, I'm going to back Birmingham. 2-1. Great escape. Flashbacks to Paul Caddis. Honestly, I think Birmingham City might just do it. I'm backing you to win.
Okay, I find this one quite interesting, because I don't know how Norwich are going to approach this one, whether they're going to go all out when they don't really need to, because a draw would be enough to cement 5th place. Are they going to risk some of their key players? I don't know. All eyes have got to be on the playoffs now. Birmingham have got to throw everything at this game, and we saw during important games like a derby game, they turned up and they played very good football. So if they can do the same again at St Andrews, I think they're going to do it by the skin of their teeth. I'm going to agree with you. 2-1 Blues. Yep.
Wow, that is incredible. We both think Birmingham are going to do it, against the odds somewhat maybe. Although it's really fascinating, I don't like this relegation battle for one thing. A lot of the clubs involved, I just don't want to see go down. I don't want Birmingham to go down, but I don't want Plymouth or Wednesday to go down as well. Oh, gosh. But let's just think about this, Sophie. With those predictions put together, we've relegated Plymouth, both of us there.
Yeah.
So do you think that's how it's going to be?
I think, yeah, I've got my bottom 3 in my mindset.
Oh, Plymouth fans, honestly, I hope we're wrong. But for the Birmingham fans, I hope we're right.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate this. On to the next one, Sophie. Let's go to the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion versus Preston North End. Preston, nothing to play for, Sophie. They lost 3-0 to Leicester on Monday. It's hardly a disaster. Leicester have won the league now. But yeah, Preston, maybe a bit like Coventry, their season's fizzled out. As for West Brom, they've got a lot to play for, but their season's fizzling out. It's, I think, 3 defeats in a row, 1 win in about 7 or 8. It's quite concerning, and, you know, this is why I thought Coventry could still make the playoffs, because West Brom was slipping up quite a lot, but at the moment, no one's taken advantage of it. So because West Brom have been so good for most of this season, they've afforded themselves this little slip up, but they need to get it out of their system now, because they're going into the playoffs where they're probably playing Leeds or Southampton. And remember, of course, if they lose this, Hull City might catch them. It could be a nervy atmosphere at the Hawthorns if they don't get an early goal, but so long as they don't go behind, I think West Brom are in control of the playoffs. So I'm going to go for them to get it over the line with a 1-0 win.
Okay, I can see why you're doing that, but I'm just going to go for a draw. I think West Brom are in pretty poor form, so you don't want to be taking that form into the playoffs anyway. But if they're going to win, it'd only be by 1 goal. I don't see this being an easy game whatsoever, despite Preston having nothing to play for. But I am just going to have to go for a draw. 1-1.
1-1. Still enough, though.
It would be enough, yeah.
They've scraped over the line, haven't they? Bloody hell. It's like they've run a marathon. They've picked up cramp and they've crawled over the finish line or something. Okay, on to the last 2 games, Sophie. Let's go to Ellen Road. It's Leeds United versus Southampton. It seems as if for all of this season we've built this game up to be one of the biggest games there'd ever be in the Championship, and ultimately there's not a lot riding on it, but there is still something riding on it, because if Ipswich lose to Huddersfield, Leeds can still get second, so there is still a bit of jeopardy. Let's predict this one first, Sophie. Southampton, they lost last week because they've not really got a lot to play for. I think they're going to be probably the second favourites in the playoffs, behind whoever finishes third. But Leeds, for me, they've got to make sure they win this, just because how frustrating would it be if Huddersfield won, but Leeds didn't win and take advantage. I think Leeds will do it 2-1, but what I will say is that 4-0 defeat to QPR has really made me question things at Leeds United. Yeah,
they've got to put that game behind them and just say, okay, that was a freak result. I don't know why that happened. But all eyes on this game. They're obviously going to want top 2. You don't want to leave it to the playoffs, even though I do fancy their chances. But I think they'll do it actually against Southampton. I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident that they will win this one.
Pretty routine. I mean, this could be the playoff final at the end of the season. Leeds v Southampton. Share your thoughts, guys. I've backed Leeds all season to do well. This one hasn't quite gone to fruition because they're not going to win the league now. They might still finish in the top 2, but what I will say, Leeds fans, is you will be mine, Sophie, and most people's favourites in the playoffs, but who knows, the playoffs can be quite interesting. Let's see though, because are Ipswich Town going to lose to Huddersfield, Sophie? Do you know what? We could build this up and really make the Ipswich Town fans nervous here, who I'm sure still a few of them are nervous. But I think this is going to be routine.
I agree.
Huddersfield Town, although they're not mathematically relegated, they need a 15-goal difference swing, so they are all but down. Honestly, I think this could be quite a cricket score, and I know Ipswich only need to get a draw, but I'm gonna go 3-0. I'm gonna go 3-0 Ipswich, Sophie. I thought they were very good on Tuesday night against Coventry, and the thing I've always thought when I've watched them this season, they just take their chances. They come forwards and they shoot as soon as there's an opportunity. And if you can just pepper the opposition's goal as much as they do, you're going to create loads of chances, create loads of shots and goals. And honestly, they're probably one of the best attacking teams I've seen in the Championship. So commiserations, Huddersfield. Congratulations, Ipswich, if my prediction comes true. 3-0.
Yeah, what I will say, because I didn't say it in the vlog, but they're some of the best fans I've seen at the CVS in a long time. Obviously, they've got a lot to celebrate, but they were so loud for the whole game. They really got behind their team, because at points it was really, really nervy. They allowed Coventry back into the game, but they're coming up against Huddersfield now, who are down and out for me. And I won't go 3-0, I'm going to go 2-0, but I think it's going to be a comfortable one.
Yeah.
They're a good team, and they're going to get it over the line.
Would it be the most Championship thing ever for Huddersfield to come and win?
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
God, and that would be so hard on the Ipswich fans. I know a few of you will be nervous and probably thinking, oh my God, this is unbelievably close. We just need a draw to get to the Premier League. But if you play like you have done throughout this season, I think it'd be easy. Let's just hope nerves don't get the better of them if you're an Ipswich fan. There you go then, guys. That wraps up another season of Championship predictions, Sophie. It's been emotional.
It has. It's been a very, very good season.
Yeah, honestly, once again, a massive thank you for your support. We've still got loads of videos to come. We've got Premier League predictions tomorrow. We've got a vlog on Saturday. We'll talk about the Championship playoffs as well, of course. And we've got so much to come during the summer. If you've enjoyed our videos, please make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe. It's free to do both of those. And a massive thank you to you for your support, Sophie.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for letting me win on the Championship predictions this year.
You're very welcome.
Who knows? Let's see if you can catch up in the final day. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.